Finally, last and final thought is strengthen our family life. I had mentioned last week that the absence of the father in the home has caused big problems in our community and probably in other communities. So we need the man back in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We need a man back in the house. I appreciate the young man who called in last week concerning that subject. It seemed like sometimes we remove ourselves from the house and then some other people remove us from the house. How can we get us the way we can stay in the house? I mean, I don't like to leave the house. I like to stand and watch TV, do some things around the house, and spend my time praising my God. But it seems like there's always a way to get us out of the house. Is this a overt or covert mission to remove the black man from the household?
Not necessarily from the house. Well, that is true, but there's more. The black man is a target here in America. I noticed that our sisters have jobs that are able to sustain them, and a lot of men in our community just can't find employment. So there is a target that's placed on the back of the African American man in this country, and we probably need to do something about that.
Yes, sir. Well, we don't. I remember back in the day, Marcus Garvey, when I was doing my studies, had a Back to Africa movement. I don't think that might be the solution for all of us to want to leave, because some of us, we're familiar with America and we don't want to go to anywhere strange. But how could these policies that they have in place, institutionalized racism, which the brother was talking about, it seemed like we can't get rid of those policies. I had posted on Facebook there are 462 seats up for election in Congress and in the Senate. It seems like we can't vote because they have a restriction on the voters' registration. They're doing everything possible to keep us from voting. And if we was to vote in large numbers, I think someone quoted we had 800,000 people. The young lady that spoke on the phone about 800,000 people, Democrats in Hillsborough County. I'm believing with those 800,000, we should be able to turn the tide and get someone in the seat that's willing to do something for us. But it seemed like the last time I remember, who was the last Republican governor in Florida? I think it was Charlie Crist. And besides Charlie Crist, we had most of the people in the Senate, the House, they are Republicans. Is that a bad thing for us?
Rick Scott is a Republican also.
Right.
That's residing in the office as we speak.
So how can we get rid of those people?
Well, voters' enthusiasm, especially in the local elections, is more important than voting in the national elections. We tend to come out in droves in the national elections, and we vote. The turnout is very minute in our local elections. I think it's important that we start a voters' awareness, particularly in our local elections.
Yes, I think we had one time. I think it was the NAACP or some other group, Second Chance, that I worked with, trying to get us out to vote. Why don't we want to vote for national election? For the local election? Is it because that we don't feel like we have a chance, or they're going to not do anything for us? But I agree with you totally. I think we need to get out to every election.
Yeah. Well, I'm not certain as to why we're not enthusiastic about voting in the local elections, but I do know many people feel that our vote doesn't count, and what's the purpose of voting? They're going to do what they want to do anyway. You can tell that by the gentrification of our communities. Wtmp no longer exists as far as a black community. Now it's a mixed community. And some of our other communities over in Bama Heights, so forth and so on, are being infiltrated, or we are being gentrified, moved in more North Tampa is where the concentration of our people being moved to today.
Yeah, I'm gonna holler out to West Tampa. I used to live on Nassau Street, and I saw a lot of the houses being bought that I was told that was owned by black families for decades. And a lot of them, the taxes went up, and I don't know if it's. I don't think it's illegal. I don't think it's legal, but it seems like there's no one who really cares. Like they could build a stadium in our backyard. They could build anything they want to build, and we can't do anything about it. But if we are homeowners, should we have? I know they got a term called eminent domain where they can acquire your property if they give you a reasonable price, market price for their property. What if we don't want to sell? Do we still lose the property? And it doesn't seem right.
Eminent domain outweighs whatever you decide.
This supposed to be America. I'm just saying. I've been doing a whole lot of reading since I've been on the road, legal things, and as I've been reading, I've been finding out a lot of things that's going on are not actually legal, and it's not the law. It's just that we don't have anybody want to read the law to actually interpret the law to say, hey, I think you're doing something wrong here.
What are you referring to? The situations of gentrification of our community?
Yes, sir. The eminent domain, the gentrification, where they move. This young brother, I don't know if you remember, Mr. Chambers. He called in from New York. He's a realtor, and they was doing gentrification in New York. He was telling them about how to keep their property. He wants to be back on the show probably the end of this month talking about gentrification in New York City. But as I looked at it, I do remember now in the military, when another nation or another enemy wants to do something to you, they usually don't do it in the small communities. They do it in the cities. So the tide in Chicago, when I was in Chicago at the yacht club doing a thing for the military, I see a lot of the people that downtown Chicago are no longer there. The black shops, they're becoming to be more of a Caucasian environment downtown in the Loop and all these other places. It's not just here, but it seems like all over the country. So is that a massive plan, or that's by accident or by design?
Who knows? But we would think it is by design, because who does it benefit, and who catch hell from it? So we catch hell from the gentrification, and many of others benefit from it.
Yes, sir. I know, because I can't afford that $4,000 a month loft I wanted in Chicago. It used to be $685.
Yeah.
Now it's $4,000. So we have no choice, because we don't have the high-paying jobs with the salaries. We have no choice but to relocate. And the money they give us for relocation is not enough. Last Saturday when I left the studio, I went down to Miss Lana's to eat, and it was a young lady there. They say she's in apartments on Main Street, and that she's one of the last few that they are moving out to relocate. I'm not familiar with that too much as I was back in February, but she's saying they're moving her to other places, and they're going to turn that over to the University of Tampa or University of South Florida.
The housing, public housing, people who reside in public housing has been mostly moved in, mostly moved the northern part of Tampa, and I'm not certain who's going to take over that area, but I know it's no longer residents of people like you and I.
Yes, sir. You and I. That was a song by Rick James. Yes, sir. It seems like we don't have anything really to look forward to in this election that's coming up that is going to address anything about gentrification or about subsidies or about eminent domain. The platform that I've been hearing from Mr. Trump and Ms. Clinton is about which one is the worst person to be president. I got an invitation from Mr. Trump to enroll to go into this something called a dinner with Ivana.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take it.
Invited?
No, they wanted me to donate some money. I get a chance to go. I didn't have the money.
I didn't think you would be welcome to that event. They do want your money.
They want my money. I didn't have any. I mean, I passed that button and went to something else. I couldn't do it. And Mr. Senator Tim Kaine, I got an invitation from him as well. We're gonna see if we can get them on the show. But Donald Trump wanted me to give some questions that's already scripted, and I couldn't think of the question that we could script to get him because I like to do it off the cuff. So if we come down to getting those questions, since you're in school, maybe you can help me with those questions.
Oh yeah, we have some questions for Mr. Trump if he decides to come on the show and answer them.
Okay, we just hope that in the next couple of days we can get. I like to have both of them for a little mini debate, but if not, we get whoever we can. I'm referring Senator Kane, who speaks Spanish, and also Governor Pence, and let them do what they do, because we got to know who's going to be the vice president, the next man with his hand on the button. So what does it look like for blacks in this next election? You think we'll make any gains, or will it be further at the bottom of the totem pole?
I'm not looking for African Americans to make any gains based on an election. I mentioned before, I don't think there is a political solution to our problem. Our problem exists within our own communities. Again, I'll make the point. We need to increase our education. We need to come out of this box. We need a stronger spirituality and a stronger family life.
I like that platform you were saying about the man back in the family, spirituality, and we got our own problems. Sound like you ready to run for office.
Oh, no. I'm not a political guy. I'm a behind-the-scenes guy. I'll work with you to accomplish our goals. I'm more, interested on promoting, supporting black businesses. I think one of our biggest problems is we don't have the wealth, or we don't use the wealth wisely.
I agree with you on that part. We have so much money. We are like the 12th largest nation in the world with our money, but yet we're not advancing. It seems like we're going backwards. If we do advance, it's only a couple of us that advance. A couple of people that play sports, a couple of people that came with their own business module, and they happen to be able to make money. But are those people sharing that information with others, and we're just not want to pick up on what they're doing?
Not at all. It's not those national figures that we're concerned. It's the small black businessman, the Eve Caterings, the Sauls, the small businessmen who are able to provide employment for our own people, and use our power to influence. That's where we need to go. Support our small businesses in our community.
That's a good idea. When I come to town, I try to support all black businesses. Not saying that I don't go to other businesses, but when I'm in town, I go to certain places that I had a familiarity to when I was living in West Tampa. Also, I would go to East Tampa and visit a couple places. But it seems like a lot of time we take it for granted that a black business is not going to be reputable. It's not going to be a great business to go to other than a business of another color. Some of us seem to we rather go to a store of another race than to go to our own color, because we believe like they're going to charge us more. But I haven't found that to be the case.
Even if we are charged just a tad bit more, just to support the cause, it's worth it, And we have gone to other places and paid a premium price for the product that we ordered, and if the black businesses are providing a premium and quality product, why not pay for it?
Yes, sir. I mean, because we do pay premium. We go to a place like Red Lobster, Bennigan's, just to eat or something. They got $12.99. When you get through paying for it, it's $15.02. I went down to Main Street and got a nice meal at Miss Lana's, for like $8, $7. I got a breakfast for like $2 and something, and a cup of coffee.